Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is speaking, along with Climate Change and Energy Minister Chris Bowen.
Welcome to Grainler, everyone, and can I thank Keith very much for showing us around his home here in Ashfield. Can I also welcome Jess from the Inner West Council, Penny, representing the New South Wales Government, and of course Minister Chris Bowen. We're always looking for ways to help Australians with cost of living, and this project here has resulted in just that. In 2021, 4 years ago, Keith, because he's a good citizen, obviously a good neighbour to have here, made sure that we had solar panels installed in the roof here that have helped the 9 residences that are in this building. One of the issues that we've had is that although we have the largest per capita number of solar panels on roofs in the world, only 3.5% of apartments have solar panels. They're connected up to solar. And that, of course, is a way in which they can reduce their power bills. Today we're announcing, in partnership with the New South Wales Government, something that's fully funded by the Commonwealth but will be rolled out with the New South Wales Government, is a $25 million program, the Solar for Residents Initiative. This will provide co-funding to owners' corporations and strata managers to install shared rooftop solar systems such as the one that's operating here right now. There are estimates that this could save residents up to $600 a year on their power bills. So good for residents' cost of living, good for reducing our emissions, good for the environment. A win-win situation rolled out by the Commonwealth and the state. It's just one of the many measures that we're doing, including in partnership with the Min's government here, to encourage the use of solar panels and to help slash people's power bills. It's one of the things that we need to do going forward. This is a fantastic program. It adds to the suite of measures that we have introduced as a government since 2022. A suite of measures of which the biggest highlight at the big picture is we have approved enough renewable energy projects to power 8 million homes in Australia. A stark difference to what we inherited, which was a government that was going backwards, that saw more energy leave the grid than came onto it, a government in denial and delay about action on climate change. And we've seen just this week a former colleague of Penny's and now someone seeking to be a colleague of ours down there in Gilmore, Andrew Constance, belling the cat that the coalition do not have a plan to continue to support the Paris Climate Accord. Now, he's backed off that and flipped and backflipped about 4 times on various positions that he's held over the years. The truth is that Australians know that the coalition aren't fair income. They know that they are a political movement that have a plan for nuclear energy sometime in the 2040s that will cost $600 billion, that somehow will overcome the state and territory as well as the Commonwealth legislation barring nuclear energy, even though people like David Crisafulli in Queensland, Leah Finocchiaro in the Northern Territory, and indeed there is no leader or opposition leader anywhere in the country that is backing Peter Dutton's nuclear plan. What Australians know, though, is that $600 billion has to come from somewhere, and that will just add to the cuts that Peter Dutton is planning. Meanwhile, no plan whatsoever for energy security. You can't just keep these old coal-fired power stations going until the 2040s, and that means an energy shortage. So Peter Dutton's so-called plan is not one that's good for energy, it's not one that's good for households, it's not one that's good for the environment. Meanwhile, we're getting on with it. a plan of 43% reduction in emissions by 2030, and most importantly, a pathway to get there through the safeguard mechanism, through the capacity investment scheme, through the solar sunshot program, through the programs that we have in place that have the support of the business community because they provide them with that certainty. Now, the same logic that applies to the macroeconomy is the logic that Keith here has operated on here in Ashfield as a mini economy, if you view this block of flats as. It makes economic sense while helping the environment. So I pay tribute to Keith and those people who've got on with things over the years. Australians have acted because they know that it makes sense for them as well as making sense for the environment. What we're doing today is rolling this out. It's open. As of today, it'll close on the 1st of December this year, or when funding is exhausted. So this is an opportunity to get ahead of the curve, and it's an exciting project, and I thank Chris for his leadership, but thank Penny Sharp as well for her leadership as the New South Wales Minister.